bones. And in this one, let's go ahead and do a topic video. Now, I do these every once in a while when there's something I want to talk about. And although I would like to do more of these, there's always something I want to talk about. It is very nice to get a chance and discuss some of the things that's going on with mainly the DC Multiverse line, but I do sometimes talk about other subjects within the toy collecting community. Now, this time I want to talk about really get into some real talk. Want to really see what our state of the DC Multiverse line is, what we have seen Mcfarlane do throughout his first couple of years with the DC license, some new releases that now have been revealed with photos so we can take a look at them, and where we might see the line go, and expectations for the future. Now, one thing that is definitely for sure, although maybe some other people, wouldn't want to admit, and that is that the DC Multiverse line, Mcfarlane, does have a pretty big fandom. I would even say a little bit of, fanaticals in there. You do see Mcfarlane release images of figures, and then everybody has to go and repost the pictures and, say that if they like it or they don't, or what do you think. And so that takes people's time and that takes people's effort to show that they are backing this line. Now, from the beginning, we did have an idea that it would be a little bit tough with Mcfarlane. He's, known to be not only kind of stubborn and have a big ego, but also a master troll. So that is something that you have to keep in mind when you're, talking about Mcfarlane. But on the flip side of that, he is an innovator. He is a great artist and he is a smart businessman building a huge empire out of even his own properties, other properties. And this is what has built him a pretty good following. Now, of course, with the changes of time, the changes of the way we look at action figures and even statues, Mcfarlane has had to adjust to the modern day, more articulation. And this has caused him to pretty much evolve from the starting point up until now in this day and age. And although I do think that everybody should speak their mind, everybody should offer their opinions of what we want to see, what we would like to see from the line and from the figures. Personally, to me, I do think that we should keep it respectable. I mean, you do have the really deep worms out there that they're just haters. They're never gonna like Mcfarlane. They're never gonna like the figures. They're they're never gonna see the positives about the line. They're only gonna see the negatives, and they would just drop in whenever something is released to leave their negative comments. And in the end, to say that they don't even collect it because Mcfarlane sucks, but they want us to know their opinion, which is their right. Now, if you live in the comments the way I do, you see the very large array of comments. You have people that say, oh, Mcfarlane used to do good sculpt work, now he has fallen. Oh, Mcfarlane figures look better in the 90s when they had 3 points of articulation, which we all know is not what people expect from figures in this time. Oh, look at the face sculpt of this figure. It looks like Charles Bronson. I mean, you get the full range of comments. Oh, Jokerize it, which not only to me has been stupid from the very inception, but also has grown tired and old. And I'm glad to see that has really pretty much died in the comment section, except for your random moron. And we can talk about the good things that has happened because of the comments and because of Mcfarlane's innovation. Now, we have been clamoring about different things from the very beginning of the line. And from this, we have gotten some positive changes. I mean, we went from round ball ankle and wrist joints to now sculpted ankle joints and sculpted wrist joints, which not only give you the four ways of articulation at the wrist, which are awesome for posing and figure photography, but I have to say they are even superior to what Mafex uses, which is still those round ball joints. And this has been a progression. You can see the way the Grim Knight's ankles were done in the first year of the line, up to now when we received Commander Steel and the way his ankle joints are done. Completely clean and very aesthetic lines on the figures. Articulation has improved. I mean, we still have the problem with the forward waist crunch articulation. That has been an issue since the beginning, but surprisingly, some figures have, broken this wall. They do have forward articulation, which definitely adds to the dynamic posability. But even for the ones that don't have the forward crunch, it's kind of funny that I'm still able to get them in some very nice dramatic poses. Now, of course, weapons, guns have been another issue with the line. But one thing that some people just seem to forget or to be oblivious of, and that is that this is a mandate from Warner Brothers. It has nothing to do with Mcfarlane. In fact, Mcfarlane has, figured a way out to get us weapons, and that is through his various munitions packs. And in fact, I would have to say that this is something Warner Brothers has done that really hurts Mcfarlane. And although it's not his choice to not have the weapons that go with each character, he has tried his best to work around it. So I, for one, am never too worried about that the figure doesn't come with weapons. The reason being, I have bought doubles of all the munitions packs. So I have all the weapons I need. And of course, that opens us up to third parties, even giving business to a lot of up and coming 3D printers who make alternate weapons. And if a figure doesn't come with something that we know it should come with, there is no shortage of people out there making alternate weapons, which is cool for the whole figure community. There's also a couple of other things that making suggestions has brought us, and that is like the backdrops that we usually get with the two packs are now usable and don't get destroyed when you remove the accessories. Speaking of accessories, McFarlane has upticked the accessories, and while it's not perfect, it doesn't always happen the way we want. There are some figures that come with a vast array of accessories, which is a far cry from how it was at the beginning of the line, as well as character selection, which he has opened up really wide. The only thing I would say is we could still get a slight bit more female characters. Now, I got some heat one time because I said, I'd like to see a large run of females, and that was that, oh, asking for female figures that are peg warmers is like cringe or whatever. And I'm just like, if female figures are done correct, they sell just as well as the male figures or even the hero figures. Just depends which design and how the female figure is executed. Now, I'm not one of those that only wants pure female figures, of course not, but there's nothing wrong with enjoying the fruits of nature, and that is looking at a beautifully executed female figure. Now, I recently did a video where I talked about upcoming releases from McFarlane, and as quick as that, now we do have images of them, various figures. We did see pretty much the whole wave of the Batman versus Superman wave. I think we're just missing the Cavill Superman and its official, images. But one thing you do obviously see right away, and that is that if you take a look at the first Wonder Woman that was released with the first Snyderverse wave, there is a huge difference between the images of the new Wonder Woman. Just looking at the shield and the legs, you can tell right away that this is really what you wanted from your Wonder Woman release. And hopefully, all the details and the beautiful articulation and sculpt work and design are there. But it is like most companies, most entities, and that is that when you first start off, you don't really have everything down pat. You got to work your way into it, see what works, see what doesn't work. I think McFarlane has said that the cloth wired capes are not necessarily cheaper, but easier in mass to produce than a plastic cape. So that is why he has really moved into the direction of wired cloth capes, which while not 100% of everybody is on board with that, I do feel like it is an upgrade. It does work very well. And as long as the materials are nice and it is executed well, nobody should have a problem moving into wired capes. McFarlane, once again, moving us into a mass produced regular consumer versions of high end figures where you get the sculpted ankle joints, very intricate sculpt detail work, wired capes, all for a reasonable price. One of the lowest price in action figures in all, keeping it very consumer friendly. And I have to say, a lot of the releases that we have seen now, lots of accessories. You could tell the designs are a lot cleaner and crisper. So we're moving into an age where McFarlane is really hitting his stride. Sad to see if we cannot continue with this awesomeness. Hopefully, fingers crossed, he has the line for a couple of more years. Because in the end, you have to remember that no one is ever going to be completely satisfied. Everybody has different preferences. Maybe you want this certain design of a character, while other people want this old school design. McFarlane has to really juggle trying to keep everybody happy, trying to get all the characters that people want, which is definitely not an easy task. And at the same time, fighting Warner Brothers, fighting haters, and at the same time running a bunch of other lines and IPs and different ventures that he's going to with McFarlane Toys. Because in the end, we all know, and this is basically a life rule, and that is that you're never going to be able to please everybody. So all we can do is try our hardest, please yourself, live your best life, and let the chips fall where they may. And as a sign off, I'm going to play a little clip I have from one of the interviews that McFarlane has done. And sadly, but I mean, like I said at the beginning, we're going to do some real talk. This is the reality of it. I'll let you guys listen to it and see where McFarlane is coming from.
Never do any digital NFT. Okay, I'm not here. I'm not here to convince you otherwise. But I'm going to do it. I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid of it. It doesn't scare me. Will I get negative people saying stuff about it? I'm sure I will. I learned long ago that I'm never going to please 100% of the people in any one of my decisions. I don't even factor that in. I don't care. I don't care if anybody agrees with what I'm doing. Here's what you get to do. You get to vote with your dollars. If you don't buy it, then I guess I made the wrong decision. If you don't support it,
you've made some good right decisions. This where this leads to, if the audience doesn't know here, is you just broke a record in a sale of one of these NFTs, making a lot of money in an auction last weekend.
So, anyways, guys, that's it for this one. Hopefully, we get to see the full potential of McFarlane's DC Multiverse line along with his other toy lines. But you guys keep hunting out there, keep collecting, keep customizing, and I will see you on the next
They used to call me Crazy Joe, but now they can call me Batman.